Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I fulfill this smoky eye drugstore friendly makeup look while also talking about a very important topic, and that is mental health. Now with this new age of social media, I can assume that you guys are aware of mental health and how it can affect your daily life. Now, mental health, I would say, has come clear to me maybe about a couple years ago when I first started college, and I was not aware of anything until I spoke to an advisor at my campus, and she kind of helped me understand more on what I was struggling with. I thought I was just not in the mood to just wake up and go to class, but in reality, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of sadness, a lot of loneliness, and depression. And so I luckily decided to seek help, and that definitely helped me on my journey. Now, this journey hasn't been that easy. It definitely took a while for me to even really take a hold on it and try to dissect what could be the root of it all. A lot of the times it could be, the upbringing that you grew up with, and maybe there were just ways that you just wanted to live and maybe you couldn't, and maybe it naturally just happened to you. Maybe you just always struggled with a certain thing, and that had has led you to anxiety or depression or anything under the mental health umbrella. First step to mental health is being aware of it. And like I said, I was not aware of it. I thought I was just reacting to a new environment, and I was just nervous and I was just unhappy and sad. But in reality, I was dealing with a lot of just hidden issues that I didn't know about. And sometimes when you're just living, you can just assume this is just how life is, but it doesn't have to be. The first thing that I did with trying to understand my mental health is figuring out my triggers. Now, I can give an example of anxiety. Whenever I'm very fearful of something, I have triggers. And I realized one of my triggers is when I feel like I cannot express myself. That is a trigger to my anxiety. Whenever I feel like I can't express myself or I can't be who I am, it triggers me to kind of just go into this corner and retrieve and not want to go back out. And from realizing that that was my trigger, I decided from then on to find ways to combat that, whether that's to learn how to communicate better, give myself pep talks, affirmations. Those can also be very helpful when dealing with new environments, new people, new spaces. And so that is one of the triggers that I learned to manage through. Another way that helped me was journaling and self-reflecting. If you ever find yourself in a place in your life where you feel like you're constantly going through the same cycles and like, why do I keep ending up back at square one? A lot of the times it's because we're repeating the same patterns and we're not learning from ourselves. And that means that you need to sit down and realize, hold on, what needs to change? And that is where self-reflection comes in. And I did a lot of self-reflection. Self-reflection at times can take you weeks to months to really unravel what's going on. It's not just a moment that you can just sit and say, oh, that's what's going on, and the issue's done. Sometimes you may need help with self-reflection, and that's where therapy comes along. And when you're having someone there to sit with you and guide you with the things that you are just sometimes unaware of. Again, awareness is very much key to be able to improve your mental health, and sometimes we need help with that. So from journaling to therapy to self-reflection, all those things definitely help with understanding my triggers and figuring out steps to not go through the same cycles in my life. Now, aside from knowing your triggers and managing your triggers, we also need to manage how our body responds to these triggers. A lot of times we may find ourselves just wanting to stay in bed, not wanting to engage with people. Now, there's a difference, of course. Some people are naturally introverts and they want to stay home. But then there's some people who, you may actually enjoy the company of others, but you just, next thing you know, you're spending weeks alone and you're not talking to anyone, or maybe you're just afraid to express to anyone what you're going through. And one way to do that, well, there are actually many ways to learn to cope with that. And the best thing for me was exercising. Now, there's a lot of reports and studies that show that exercising or things like dancing, because a lot of our trauma, it stays in our body. And one of the best ways to relieve that trauma is through exercise or dance or anything that requires your body to move. Just like taking a 15-minute walk around your house, around your campus, or wherever you are, those things can help. As you know, the typical saying, "Oh, I need to go take a walk to clear my head," that actually works. And so, another thing that can help with managing is reconnecting with your younger self. Now, I definitely go by this saying that when we came into this world, I feel like we knew who we were, our true selves when we first came into this earth. And then I feel like experiences and the environments that we were brought up in probably deterred that path or deterred that purpose, and probably left us confused, because for some reason, I don't know if you guys can relate, but I feel like when I was 8, I kind of already knew and figured out what I wanted to do with my life. And then life just said no. And so when we let go of that innocence and we just start to just feel like, oh, well, I just gotta, follow the crowd, you lose yourself. And then that's how you end up in these holes of unhappiness. And so one of the things that helped me was reconnecting with my younger self. And I know for sure when I was younger, one of the things that made me happy was being able to creatively express myself. And that could be drawing, dancing, singing, anything that allows you to be creative. Writing definitely was one of those things for me. And I'm now working on actively practicing that. And so for you, I don't know, it could have been anything. If you enjoyed running, if you enjoyed watching TV, or I don't know, there's so many things that if you just look back and think, what did I enjoy when I was younger before the world showed me its true colors? What did I enjoy? What made me happy? What made me feel like a kid? And go back to that and try to recreate those moments now as an adult. And I promise you, you're going to feel hopefully a whole lot better, or just a little bit. You'll probably be able to understand yourself a little bit more as to why you are where you are. I know that when I reconnected with my younger self, I was just like, oh wow, maybe this is why I feel sad sometimes when this happens, and maybe this is why I don't do that when this happens, because it reminds me of this, or I can't, so definitely try to reconnect with your younger self. Now, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.